everyone. Once again, you're joining me, Gerone Wright, here on my YouTube Geronification channel. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some insights about the famed Nicki Minaj and what is actually going on with her. You guys are talking about not you guys. A lot of people is big on this thing and this fascination about her being with the Illuminati and all of that and all that. I mean, this is much bigger than that. You guys need to let that Illuminati crap go, and because what I'm dealing with here is something that is far more beyond anything you could possibly ever come to realize. Okay, um, if you get plugged in with this video, make sure that you watch all my other videos, and you can see that this here is much far more bigger than anything you could possibly ever imagine. All right. This is almost like a universal plugin, so to speak. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You need to get off that Illuminati crap and all of that stuff there, and see, look at my videos. And this is dealing with a reality that is far more greater than anything you can possibly ever imagine. Okay, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about what's going on here. This is with Nicki Minaj at the Grammys, and supposedly a little Red Riding Hood gown, and and with a character playing the Pope there. Okay. First of all, I want to say that this guy, I don't know if this was before the new Pope election or not there, but you notice that guy looks a little bit like Pope Francis, that crazy smile and everything there. If you look at it, and I have the thought now. I didn't Google. I could have Googled and looked on, but he's got that stupid grin like that of Pope Francis. Okay, and I can't help but wonder. Now I might be wrong if all of this occurred before the Pope election and before Pope Francis was elected. Now, I know this guy here is just an actor sitting, I would imagine anyway. But my thing is that the guy bears it looks like a younger version of Pope Francis. Look at that stupid grin that Pope Francis has. Now, and what I'm driving at here, this guy has the same stupid grin and everything that Pope Francis had. Now, you can't help but wonder if by Nicki Minaj pulling up at the Grammys with this guy, if in fact it was already known that this guy was going to be elected into the next papacy. Because I swear to you, this guy and this guy looks like a younger version of each other. Well, the one up here with Nicki Minaj look like a younger version of this guy. You just can't help but wonder if that Popo election wasn't as being like in an election or not. If they already had this guy Pope Francis already targeted to be the next pope. Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna let that go. That's just a thought. That's just food for thought. Let me get back to this. All right, this chick Nicki Minaj, she sings provocative rap lyrics, song lyrics, talks about ass and dick and everything else, cussing and having sex and all of this other stuff there. Okay? And this guy, totally opposite of what this guy here represents, supposed to represent your holiness and one of the closest persons in the image of closest being that to God. Okay? You know what the problem that I have with this, even though I'm not a religious person, is that you have rappers that are not on the scale of her. She's on a huge scale. You have rappers that are not even on. In fact, let me see. Just recently, you have let me see. Rick Ross, for example. Rick Ross actually stated something about females, and then he's being, you know, what I mean, almost globally, it was an instant reaction about him stating something against females, and he had to go and do a public apology and all of this, that, and the third about his lyrics towards women, beating up on women and bitches and all of that stuff there. And However, and then there's other rappers now that the same exact thing. That if they do something distasteful towards a religious group or towards a children's or all this other stuff there that they find to be offensive, there's this outrage, this outcry. Here you have this chick that ain't singing about nothing intelligent, ain't doing nothing intelligent through her lyrics at all, show up at a Grammys with a guy in a costume of that of a pope, and you don't hear not a damn thing on TV about this. Nothing. Nothing at all. From no religious leader, you don't hear anything. Nobody crying out. You don't even hear from the Pope. Don't you find that to be absolutely amazing? Remarkable? Now, I'm going to tell you why you didn't hear anything. Because the message that she is sending and he is sending is a real message. It's a cult-like ritual message that has been going on since ancient times. This is okay. This is why you didn't hear from the Vatican on this. This is why you didn't hear from any other religious leader on this, on anything. Look, globally, people, look at all these religious institutions. Nobody said anything about this. You didn't see nobody come. Even the news didn't come up and say. You didn't see nobody say anything. Why? Why, people? Ask yourself, why? Here you have a chick from the hood, a black chick from the hood, an African, American chick from the hood that represents nothing good at all. Nothing. And can go and do this. Bring herself into a worldwide televised Grammy Awards, and it was okay. Nobody boycotted this. Nobody boycotted her songs after the fact. Nobody did anything. I want you guys to digest that for a minute. Why? You know why? Because this represents the same thing that this does. It represents a hidden evil that you know nothing about. Look at my videos if you want to learn about that. Actually, I'm going to show you something right here, right now. Let me show you something about Nicki Minaj. I have videos here on her, and I have videos on the Vatican. Look at my videos on the Vatican. I have about 5 or 6 here on this, and I have a couple videos on her. You will see that the representations behind both of them, and I'm not talking about just them, I'm talking about not this actor type guy, I'm talking about the Vatican. How these groups, she represents them. It's about genetic bridging and genetic contamination. She's not no Little Red Riding Hood. She's not dressed as no Little Red Riding Hood. This talking of her, she's talking about she has this Roman in her. You have the Vatican, Vatican City in Rome. Ancient genes, Roman genes, created genes. Contamination of genes. Rome inside of her. Roman inside of her. She's telling you that Rome is inside of her. What is Rome? What represents Rome? Here it is right here, people. Here's Rome right here. Here's Rome right here. The genetics of Rome is inside of her. A contamination. She's been genetically contaminated with Rome. So now, she has Rome inside of her. I'm gonna show you what Rome. I'm gonna show you what Rome represents in 1 minute. Now I'll keep going. But she has Rome inside of her. Now, with Rome inside of her, what does she does? She is a genetic slave. You know what she does now? She contaminates other nations with these Roman genes that was injected in her. She's genetically altered. Sounds a little far-fetched, sound like something sci-fi. Look at the rest of my videos though. It'll make a whole lot more clearer sense to you. In fact, let me pull up another image that I have here and show you what this contamination is about. Let me see if I can find my other. See if I can pull that image up real quick here for you. Let me show you this Roman gene that I'm actually talking about. I'm gonna have it. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this Roman inside of her right quick. I have one here, and I gotta do another. Bear with me for 1 second, people. I'm gonna show you what this Roman is inside of her. Well, here's Roman, people, right here. This is Nervy Hall at the Vatican. You see a pope, and on either side, there's bishops, cardinals. There's cardinals. No, bishops, I would imagine. Cardinals, I believe, wear red. You see this? This is Nervy Hall. The hall is created after Nervy, who created the hall. However, this here is the Fazzini sculpture, which was created back in the 70s. And you have Jesus, which is supposedly has been emerging from a nuclear explosion. Well, no, that's not the case, because Jesus was never in a nuclear explosion. And if you want to listen to your ancient alien theorists and any other theorists talking about this, maybe there was a nuclear explosion. No, go to hell with that bullshit. All right. What this is an emerging from genetics, ancient genetics of the creatures from which mankind evolved through. Which creatures did mankind evolve through? Well, here's again the Pope. Here's a close-up of that image there. There's the Pope down there. Reptiles are one of them. This is Jesus' body. This is his torso, abdomen area. There's Jesus' torso up here. You see that there, people? That is a head of a serpent. Look. Eye, teeth, mouth, nose area over top of the head. That is a serpent. Now, I have it highlighted for you here. You see, people? This entire mass can be read because it's a genetic grail. And then over here, people, you know what this is? Right here. That's the right eye socket, the left eye socket, the cranium, the nose area, that's the left nostril, right nostril, and the mouth. And you'll see a genetic linking chain in the mouth. This is a reptilian ape, an ancestor that you never knew about. See the nostril there? That's the right. There's the left. That's the right eye socket. There's the left. This is the skull figure in this mass of a reptilian ape. There's genetic linking chains. You'll see in the ape's mouth, there's linking chains, and I can read this entire mass. You see that? This is these guys. This is, now look, this is Jesus up there in this mass. See the witch-like woman, the mother of creation? You see that there? This is a horn. Look, you see the chin, the bottom lip, the open mouth, then the top lip and the nose and the eye socket, and this long pointy head here. This entire mass, that horn. Hold on here. Can I give you the face of that? Hold on. Okay, yeah, I can give it to you here if I back off. That horn is on a larger image of the same image of this. There's a head here. When Fazzini created this, all he did was take out pieces to leave to the imagination to those that knew that this was here on what is being stated. So this is genetics. This is a genetic grail that I can read. So now let's go back to Nicki Minaj. She has Roman inside of her. Roman is also the name of that famous tour that she made, Roman Reloaded. The ancient genes of Rome, this genetic contamination, it's my position that these guys, which is supposed to represent holiness, did I get a cross there? I need a let me get it. That's supposed to represents holiness, represents the cross-referencing of mankind's genes and genetics. Nicki Minaj is telling you that she has been cross-referenced at the main cross-referencing point in mankind's genetic altering and manipulation, which is controlled by the Vatican. Now, globally, superpowers, kings and queenships, and all of them, they know what this message means. People that are behind the scenes in controlling our TVs, our radio stations, and our biggest religious institutions, which is linked with them. Where's that? What's it called? That book there. That are linked with them. They know what this message is here. So this is the reason why you didn't hear no outrage. How can you have a woman that sings about sucking dick, having sex, menage a trois, being with women, lesbianism? Her videos are all suggesting all of this. Come to a Grammy, and it's okay that she is insinuating that the Pope is her date. Now, I don't have the image up here, and I meant to get that too for the sake of this video. Salvador Dali, the surrealist artist, does the same thing. In one of his paintings, his drawings, he has himself with a hood on his head, just as Nicki Minaj here, being hooded, in Salvador Dali painted, and have flying dildos, penises, over Salvador Dali's head, and then has the Pope coming towards him. You know what he's saying? The same exact. I wish I would have brought that picture up, and I don't have it here, but it's one of Salvador Dali's painting. He's stating the same thing. You know what they're stating? With the hoods over top of their head, that they are covenanted with the genes, the genetics of this guy, of this created in a cauldron-like way at the Vatican, which is the cross. Nobody never knew what the cross represented. The cross represents the cross-referencing of mankind's genes along with animals' genes, which calls for the breakdown in the likenesses of our African ape ancestor to cause for the creation of all of our other Caucasian counterparts, the lighter versions of mankind, genetically altered inside and genetically altered outside. Now, I'm going to show you another picture. This is Nicki Minaj with that same gown open. She opens it up. You see that? You know what that face is? Let me help you understand what that face means. That face means, where we at? That face means this, that face means this, and that face means this. What do all of those mean? This is an image of the mythical Medusa, for one, who was actually, I found to be a real being. Notice that you have this woman looking up. If you look in closer, there's the body of a snake being tied in a knot around at its neck. This is also, if you look in the Mayan culture, or how I think Lord Pakal has the snake, and you see in some cases where that knotted up snake is around the waist, it shows you at genetic level on that pyramid of genetic altering at what points these interventions were made. Look here, when you Google the image now, you will notice that these are bodies of snakes. And if you look right here, they're tied in a knot right there at the throat. This image, the serpent is tied in a knot here over the head. This, I believe, is an African ancient artifact. But how is that to be matching exactly to this? It's Medusa. Oh, hold on. And if you look more closely, see the wings like on either end here, people? It's even more identically matched to this. A crown of snakes. This is what this is all about. Right here. Look. Let me help you again, people. Hold on, let me bring that in closer so you can, let me zoom in on that. You see that? You see that? Take a good look at that. Now, you want a side by side? Here. You want a side by side? So, this is not no Illuminati. This is genetic altering and genetic contamination of mankind. Now, why Nicki Minaj? Well, through her fame, through her fortune, and through her physical presence, what is supposed to happen? She was genetically contaminated. She's genetically altered. She would use her sexuality, and in her travels, she will contaminate other places and other nations with the genetics that she got and contracted from the Vatican. Now, how can I prove this? Well, her Roman Reloaded photo shoots done by deluxe album artists, who I'm accusing of being involved as well too, because you can't make this art without knowing of what's going on. So deluxe album artists, you're guilty as too. If you don't like what I'm saying, then prove me wrong, and good luck trying to do so. Look at my video here on Nicki Minaj Busted Roman Reloaded, and I'm busted here, and you will notice I have a bunch of drawings which are actual and factual. There's demonic figures, there's skulls, there's the skull head reptilian ape, dinosaurs, there's horn beings and everything else mixed in with this collage of paints here. Okay? But the most important thing that you need to see, okay, well, besides the whale body, and then there's a dolphin that's got her hand there. Yeah, I can see all of this transparent stuff, people. But the most important thing is that Nicki Minaj is laying here in her Caucasian-like state, while her black self is laid dormant over here. There's her buttocks, her left buttock, her right buttock, no, her left buttock, her right buttock, and her back torso. This would be her would-be head. And listen, people, her back is busted out in the spine, and it shows you a serpent and other creatures in a cult-like fashion leaving her body because she's been genetically altered. No one has never seen this right here until I released it on my video that is here, showing you that she emerged genetically from her black altered self. And why, and in fact, people, why would they have her back busted out and all of these creatures here? Which I know what they all represent, because these creatures are a genetic breakdown on how she been genetically contaminated. Now, it gets better than that, because I have a video on that. Now, here's another picture of her Roman Reloaded from that was done by a deluxe album artist. You can see the video on that. I'm not going to go on that because I don't want to waste all my time on just that. But I'm going to show you, because I'm saying some very remarkable things here about this woman. And people can come after me for saying, hey, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Leave her alone and all this, that, and the third. All right. Again, here she is in a painted scenario. This is done by deluxe album artists, people. I want you to remember that name because they're guilty as charged too. And I've seen other albums and everything that they done that has similar cult-like images hidden in the paint. So remember, people, that art is the message board for the underlining cult-like message that is being spread globally. These people saying, hey, this is where it's at right now. This is what's in. This is what's going on. This is the underlined encrypted message board for these groups, these ancient rooted groups that are genetically contaminating our continents and our worlds. These people transcend areas to do this contamination. All right, but hold on. Let me keep going. Look at this painting. All you see is a woman with her bust damn near falling out, wide hips and face. I'm looking at the paint. You know what I see? I see some of the groups that is referencing genetic contamination and her genetic altering. I see faces in here. I see faces over there. But I'm going to break down one of the faces so I can send a loud and clear message to not just her, but to those that created this image on what I can read and what I can see about this image based on everything that I have just told you. First of all, where we at here? Look right here. There's a face right there. I'm going to speed up too. I need some more light, maybe. Whose face is that? She has videos out as well too. It's a multi-dimensional face. I know whose face it is. Look at this face. You have to turn it upright. Let me see if I can turn it upright. Let me turn it upright for you and see if you recognize that face. And she has videos out. You have to look at her music videos too, because her music videos carry the same message board message as this. Can you see her face in there? You'll understand her videos a little bit more now. Can you see a face in there? Can you see a left eye, a mouth, a forehead, and a band right there? Can you? Kind of, sorta, sorta, kind of. Well, that's not just any face. It's a waving hand. Her waving hand represents this face as saying hi, almost like the waving man in the glyphs over there in Peru. She's waving not for herself, but for this person, saying, "Hey, I'm back. I'm here." It's a genetic contamination from genes from where a point at which left off. You know what this is stating? From the last genetic contamination point, you know what it's showing you? From that there a big change was made, possibly 300 or 400 years ago. It's showing you what Nicki Minaj was contaminated with and what she's contaminating back with. I'm going to show you the face in a minute. In 1 minute. That face that's peeking around the corner is right here. You see that face? There's the left eye, there's the mouth, there's the chin, there's the band. So what is that right there? But hold on, people, it gets better because that face is looking at you. So this is a woman's face looking at you. Now, it's also a male's face that's looking this direction. So it's three faces in one. Let me show you. Well, actually, two faces in one. Actually, three. But let me show you the male's face. Look at the woman's face looking at you, peeking around the corner. It gets better, people. Hang in there. Hang in there. It gets better. The cheekbone, the left under the cheek area, the eye, the other eye, this is the left eye. The right eye is kind of sort of behind her hand, then the mouth, then the chin. Now, I'm going to change the face because the face, this is a nose on the male's figure face. This is the female's figure face. Here's the male's face. The male's face, the chin is going this way. See that little piece there, that little blotched piece? That creates the nose to elongate the chin of the woman. The eye can be realized going that way as well. The mouth can be realized going that way as well. And the chin can be realized going that way as well. And then it has two horns. You see those triangular shapes right there? That horn, and then that horn, and then the band. So you know what this is representing? The queen. Well, hold on. They wouldn't be queens. I don't know what the chief Indian, I mean the queen Indian would be considered. Queen Squall or whatever. But anyway, it represents the chiefship and the Indian woman, the highest in her I guess in her tribe. An Indian woman and an Indian man. There's the band and there's the feathers. There's the band and there's the feather. Now how do I arrive at that being a chief? Well, basically, once I discovered that that's what this message was about. Hold on, where's my Indian here? Let me give you my Indian back because I'm going to go into a climax here. Once I discovered that that's what this was about, basically all you have to do then is this is how everything is linking everything, people. Once you discover that, all you have to do is Google Indian headdresses. And what do you come up with? Well, no, Indian chief headdresses, because Indians don't have no headdress like that. Only higher up Indians. This is what is unique about this. Now check this out, people. Before I show you the headdress, you have a chin, a mouth, an eye, a headband. Now hold on, a forehead here, and then you have a native image and face and color and all. Then you have the band, and then you have the likenesses of feathers. So the headdress. What matches that headdress? There is a matching headdress to that. You want to see it? This is a chief headdress. Look. There's the band, and look at the feathers. Let's do a side by side. Where we at here? I done lost it. You know what? Now that I've done that, I actually see a breakdown in it. Also, one right there too, but I didn't see that actually before. But look at this. It's a perfect match, people. Look, I'm gonna bring it up right up close to that. Look at this. This is a Nicki Minaj. There's the feathering there. Look, there's the feathering there. Look, it's a match. Here's the band. Look at the band, people. Here's the forehead here in this doll and this mannequin. There's the forehead there. There's the eye in the mannequin. There's the eye there. There's the chin in the mannequin. There's the chin there. There's the mouth area in the mannequin. There's the mouth there. Here's the nose area in the mannequin. There's the nose there. A perfect match. Now, let's do another one. Here's another headdress. Or do I need to do another? Indian chief headdress. I can't get it side by side like that. So, what is being stated here? Well, people, as amazingly as it may sound, this entire painting is a glyph. It's a glyph showing how she is used as a vessel, similar to the way Jesus was, similar to the way Mary Magdalene was, similar to the way that John the Baptist was, similar to the way that Mary was, the mother of Jesus was, and similar to the way of many other biblical figures were, Judas, Simon, Mark, or Matthew. They sacrificed their bodies as genetic vessels. And what Nicki Minaj is telling you, and in her face, these little streaks of paint are crosses. And what is she is telling you, there's the crosses highlighted, is that she's been cross-contaminated with genes that she is now using her body as a genetic sacrificing bridge in a cult-like ritual, cult-like scenario. And not only is she taking in these genes, which is Roman inside of her, Roman, again meaning the Vatican, here's Roman right here. Here's Roman right there, because I've got them guilty as charged as contaminating the genetics of mankind. And altering themselves with the use of animal genetics. And this is what everything is all about. Now, she is no longer who she is, and her own paintings, her own album covers and art shows that she's been contaminated. You can look at both of these images. No one has never known. There's a black torso here. There's apes down here. There's pigs. There's skulls. There's horned beings. There's depictions of dragons and lizards. All of this ancient stuff. And you know what this is showing you? A global contamination through Nicki Minaj, through the direction of these people. And this is why she can get away with mocking religion and then go about singing in a whorish way through her lyrics, her life. Two different opposite lifestyles, but yet they're one and the same. Because everything that she represents, they represent. And this is why you did not hear no public outcry. Because just as demonic as she is, or you want to consider her to be, is just as demonic as they are. Now, again, that is just an actor. But she just as might as well had been hand in hand with this guy. Because I've linked the Vatican, all of their paintings, their entire being, into what I've just stated. A perfect match. So, she is married to the Vatican. She has their genes, and wherever she's traveling, she's contaminating those. So, I can imagine her doing the unthinkable in any different way, in many different ways, on the places that she travels. She would go beyond and beyond all duties, using her body, her sexuality, to contaminate those in high places. Including chiefs, including queens, including presidents, including first ladies. She would use bisexuality by any means necessary. It is her duty by these people to contaminate the genetics of mankind. So, the next time she tells you that Roman, hold on, let me help you out here, that Roman is inside of her, tell her thanks to Jerome, you know who Roman is. Roman is everything ancient, from the time of Constantine, from the time that goes before. Roman is Rome. They don't like it. Tell them to prove me wrong. And again, people, oh, let me put Roman up here. There's Roman. You see, people, how everything makes sense when you have all of the pieces to the puzzle? Reality is in an ancient knowledge that has always been there. Now, I'm going to leave you again with this. I dare you to be mad at me for doing this or doing, where's that Francis at? Or doing this when there was never even a public outcry for her who sings about the most provocative lyrics that you can possibly ever imagine in use of sexuality, bisexuality, lesbianism, and all of the above. And no one has ever said a word about her projecting this image at her Grammy Awards. You would think that a Pope or the Vatican would stand up and say, "This is outrageous. Stop it. You will go to hell in the eyes of God." You didn't hear none of that. It's too late for them to say it now, isn't it? How can I come along and link this woman to everything that is ancient? She represents everything that is ancient now. You know why? Because she's been cross-contaminated with genes, almost in a sense as if this man had AIDS. Well, not that man, because these genes have AIDS. You got to see my other videos too, people. It would be too long. As if she's carrying the created genes, the AIDS of that religious sect, a cauldron, in her body. And she would use her sexuality. Not only she's cross-contaminated, she's going to cross-contaminate it every place that she goes, using her sexuality and by any means necessary. Whether that means giving a king, a professional, giving him her sexuality, letting him go down on her, performing oral sex, by any means necessary, she is to contaminate those on higher levels, not on lower levels, on higher levels, in a way that she knows that that contamination that began from here will reach the targeted people that these genes are supposed to go to. Now, here's another thing too I want to show you that I got this up before I close this video out. Another thing about this is that, remember I said that the cross represents the cross contamination? I didn't print out other crosses. But look at the cross staff that this guy has. I'm going to show you something. There is an animal, four-legged creature in the middle of the cross. At each leg of this cross, there's another creature, mutation. I don't know if this is the scales of justice over here. Now, it kind of sort of looks like that, but then you see, if you look at this cross, you'll see spin-offs, mutations, like creatures that at different legs of this bear the resemblance of this creature. There's somewhere else that you actually see something similar to this, and this is at Angkor Wat. Those drawings where there's supposed to be a triceratops there, and then down below you'll see a horned man sitting, and then up on, you have this similar thing right here, but this is not a triceratops. This is a more of a modern day creature, which looks like almost, I don't know what in the world that is. It looks like an ancient ram or something along that lines there. Okay, but anyway, the problem with this is that you see mutations of mankind resembling this creature, the genetics of this creature, and then what it is stating that subsequently from all of this cross-contamination, this genetic intervention of mankind's genes, which originated from ape and African, this man now holding the staff emerged, and he's carrying, as a result of his likeness from the cauldron cocktail mix and manipulation and intervention at this time, he's standing here holding the staff to further the process of what actually occurred here. The cross represents the cross-referencing of mankind's genes and genetics with that of animals, and the animal being at the center, at the crossroad. Now, what was that again when they asked you, what does the cross mean? When you ask what the cross means, no one can tell you. He damn sure can't tell you. The Vatican can't tell you. You can't Google it nowhere. You know what the cross means to these people? That it's a given. It just represents the divine. Here I done gave you 200 plus videos, and I revealed to you that the cross means the cross-referencing of that of genetics, which represents that of ancient creatures of our world, and that of mankind's genes, and lo and behold, there's creatures in the cross. In some cases, Jesus was there, but I'm telling you that Jesus was sacrificed at the cross because it means that he sacrificed himself genetically. So just like this animal is on the cross and Jesus is a sacrifice of genes that was actually in a cauldron-like way created. It's a message board on how this likeness emerged from the likeness of our ancient ape and African ancestors. And it's a furthering of contamination. It's not just these people though. There's many others that this can be linked to. I just did a video on the on Nastradamus, the Lost Book of Nastradamus. And look, people, you cannot even see these faces. Now that I highlighted them for you, this is the Lost Book of Nastradamus. Look at the red hood, people. Look at this. Look at the clergy, the monk. In this case, look at the Pope. I just did a video on this. This monk is over a cauldron-like cup. Okay? These faces, if you Google the image, they're transparent. You can't actually see them. I highlighted these for the purpose of the video. I just did a video. You can see that here as well too. But I can see the faces. I know the faces that belong in here. The mother of creations with horns. And it shows you how she's pouring the genetics in. And it shows a meltdown that took place in this cup, including the clergy of the monk. You spin it around and the faces emerge. This face comes over here, that face comes over there, and this face comes up the middle, and it shows you a brand new gene being created based on creatures and a breakdown of creatures. Now check this out, people. All you have to do is Google it and look at the lines that I made, and you highlight, and you'll get the same exact faces. Come back over, and you start looking, and you see faces of animals that are recognizable in this cauldron-like process from which these creatures were utilized to create new pyramid genetics in a cauldron-like way with that of mankind. Now, why in the hell is this 400 plus year old, maybe even older, page from the Lost Book of Nastradamus bearing, hold on, Little Red Riding Hood? Well, what is Little Red Riding Hood doing over here? Red hooded veil. And then the witch-like woman. Oh, yeah, there's the witch-like woman. There's the clergy, the monk. And then there's the clergy. Google this image, the Lost Book of Nastradamus. The Lost Book of Nastradamus. You won't see these faces, but if you Google the image, you'll see them now that I showed them to you. Google the image, and I promise you that once you download the image, or if you just zoom in on this, you will see the transparent lines of her face. And this message is identical to this message right here. This is the reason why there was no outcry, because religion as you know it is really this. What she is doing is okay. Because this symbol, which is in this as well too, is okay. Because this is how we were created. That symbol there is identical to this. Look, people, it's identical. That snake tied in around the neck, everything is identical. You see that? Through my paranormal experience and encounter, I can expose those that cleverly think that they can blind. See the wing up there? Right here, where my thumb is, there's the wing, the tip of the wing. There's the wing over there. See that, people? It's an identical match. This is beyond anything that you think with an Illuminati. I can give you reality in a sense that you never could imagine it ever being. And having this knowledge, you shouldn't be afraid of this, because it's really nothing to be afraid of. Because knowing who you are, there's power in that. And that's how come these people have enjoyed success and power for so long. And kings and queens have enjoyed power for so long. It's because they hold the key to who you truly genetically are. And that's where the power lies. You take that away, you take away the middleman, and you know where everything is at. The answers to everything is within you. My name is Gerone Wright. I thank you for watching my Geronification channel. And again, people, share this message because it's a damn good message. This is better than anything you can obtain from your Bible or from hearing it in Sunday services or from these people who have been lying to you all along. God is not here telling you the truth. This guy is not here telling you the truth. Anything in ancient, in fact, all of them is telling you that they don't know what it is. They don't know what this is, that is, that you don't hear that. Why am I telling you on a YouTube channel the truth and bringing it to you in a sense that even you say, I mean, this is it. I mean, this is game over. This is a game changer. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. I'll see you on my next video because I don't have no end.